Hello! Hey, in this video we're going to look at something called font pairing or font combinations. Same thing. It's just a way of finding a font, okay, and finding another font that pairs with it, combinations with it very well. It's really good if you're new to design and you want to get things that work nicely together. I'm really experienced and I still go through and look for font pairing when I'm working on a new project. I'll give you some tips, some tricks. There's no hard and fast rules. I'll give you some places to go look and find them. We're going to choose a heading, subheading, and body copy. I'll give you some tips on how to pick them, how to not cause future headaches for yourself. So let's dive in. Font pairing or font combinations. Let's go. All right, to get started, let's type in the word heading, okay, and let's call this one heading 1. Okay, select it all and make sure it's got heading 1 applied to it. Okay, whatever the default is. Okay, yours will be different from mine. And then I'm going to put in subheading. Okay, and I'm going to select it all and go to heading. I'm going to go to this H2. Okay, heading 1, heading 2, heading / subheading. It's really typical for designs. You probably bumped into that before. Now, when we're picking fonts, you could use your heading, could be the same font that you've used for your logo. Okay, I could go into here, I could go from font to text styles, and then hopefully in your brand kit, if you're using the pro version, you should see whichever one we made for our brand kit. Okay, what I'm gonna do is not use it, okay, for my heading. I'm just going to leave it special for my brand. Why? Because it's quite distinctive, and this one, the font that I picked, ends up only having uppercase, which is a bit of a pain. So I'm going to pick a different heading font, okay, and a different subheading font. All right, now we can go to fonts and just pick fonts from this list. That's totally fine. Okay, I've decided I'm going to use a sans serif font, and I was looking through, and I really like this one called Playfair. Okay, Playfair. I'm going to use Playfair Display. I like the headings in semi-bold. Now the problem is I need a subheading that kind of matches it. That's actually all right, Canva Sans, but a really nice trick is once you've got a font that you do like, whether it's the subheading or the heading, or you're using the one from your brand, it doesn't matter, okay, is the word Playfair Display. I can do that. Go to Google, okay, and type in font pairing. That's the term that we want, okay. It's either font pairing or font combination. Okay, so font pairing is probably more common. And I've typed in Fair Play Display, and I did an images search. And I'm just looking through, I'm going, all right, there's Playfair. And I'm not even going into them. I'm just looking to see what fonts are kind of going with it. I can kind of see tiny there. It says Montserrat that's being used with it. This one here, I might have to click into, but ooh, this one here, Nunum. Ooh, down here. Source Sans Pro. It's just a really helpful way of going, all right, I've got a font. I need some support of like what font's going to go with it. You can just borrow from other designers. Canva has a really good one. If you type in Canva font pairing, they call them font combinations. Okay, they've got a pretty cool document here of just giving you some examples. Even if you don't have one to start with, you might be like, oh, I do like how those work together. What are these two? Let's have a look. Where is it at the top? Oh, no, it's these two. Okay, so they've used League Spartan and Libre Baskerville. That's what it is, okay? And you're like, oh, I like to see those in action. You might decide to use those fonts. A site I like is Fonts in Use. Okay, you can type in basically any font in here and it will go through and find you use cases of it. Because sometimes you're like, oh, do I like that font? And you see it on other people's stuff. You're like, oh, that's it. It's awesome. It's funny you see my Frankfurter one. I didn't realize how ancient the font was. Now that I see it, I'm like, oh, I had that game. All of these things. It was big in the 80s, but I'm not going to use it. Okay, I went and clicked on a few of the links that appeared in Google. You can see there's, I've never been to this site in my life here, but I just went and had a look through and tried to find Playfair mixed with a few different fonts, try to work out what they were. It could just be a handy trick if you are new to design, and even me, like I've been designing forever, and I'll still go off and have a look to see if I can find a font, see if I can find a cool combination. And I went through and picked Source Sans for mine. There's another reason I like Source Sans. It's because it looked cool, okay, and it's pretty simple looking. This is quite extreme, Playfair, and this is quite a simple one. We've got this serif version with a sans serif balance. Okay, I liked it. The other thing you can do is like subheading at 18, okay, is going to be my subheading. I can use the same font and change the weight for my body copy, so I don't have to go and pick a third font. Okay, I could use Playfair, because Playfair I think has a bold and, let's go bold, Playfair. Okay, it has a bold, oh, it has lots of different sizes. I do like that. Okay, but what I'm going to do is for my body copy, okay, I'm going to still pick Source Sans, font, Source Sans Pro, but I'm going to use the regular version. Now there is no like actual rules for fonts, but I'm just, I guess, trying to give you some, I don't know, structure to work from. It's really common to have the body copy the same as one of the two fonts that you've used for either the heading or the title, and just play around with the weight and the size. Most important, I am big and bold. Second most important on the page. Okay, subheading, I am smaller, but I'm also bold. Body copy is a lightweight font. Okay, or we've gone for regular because it's less important than the subheading. So size and weight, okay, can help. It's called the hierarchy of fonts. Okay, what's the most important to the reader? Can they skim and just kind of figure out what the document's about by skimming the heading? Then get a bit more detail from the subheadings, then get into the details with the body copy. The other thing to do with your body copy is just to run your finger along all the kind of like scientific math, things on your keyboard, just to make sure it's got it all. Some fonts, like my Frankfurter, doesn't even have lowercase, so not a very good body copy. But also some of them won't have things like ampersands and percentages and dollar signs because they might be small free ones. So just double check you've got some flexibility in the fonts. That's why a lot of people will end up using Source Sans, Canvas Sans, Roboto, Calibri, Inter. Oh, I'm trying to think off the top of my head what are the really common ones. But those are the main ones. The main ones I could think about right now anyway. All right, I hope that was helpful rules. Let's go and turn them into character styles in the next video.